What's up, guys? Chris here from Mainly Mesh. I got some gorp in my teeth because I'm chowing on some trail mix today. But wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update as to why the String King medals have now disappeared from my website. I made the decision to pull these from our repertoire because, well, for a few reasons. When I first started with Mainly Mesh, one of my goals was actually to never sell a metal shaft, just because I believe that carbon is kind of the way of the future, and I wanted to help support that. When the metal came out, I was really excited about it because it is the lightest lacrosse shaft ever made that I've found commercially available. And as a result, you can shoot faster than any other shaft with the String King metal. But what we started to experience was something I was a little worried about. Some of our high school kids have started blowing through the warranties, and it's not something where you're snapping it like we saw in the Break It series. That's not what's happening here. But what is happening is, whether it's on a slash or a tough cross check, quicker than I was hoping for. Some of these are bending past the point of playability, so you might get that 3 to 5% bend at the top of the head or something. And the String King metals do have a warranty that people are taking advantage of, but the second warranty you do have to pay $50 the second time around. And at that point you've spent $150, and in my opinion you probably should have gotten a Dragonfly anyways. So it's not that I disagree with the performance capabilities of the metal, because like I said, you can't shoot faster with any other shaft than you can the String King metal. And if that's your style, go for it. But one of the things that I tried to do with Mainly Mesh is give you guys the best bang for your buck at every level. So in my opinion, if you are going to end up spending $140, the best bang for your buck is an epic Dragonfly. And then the best bang for your buck at $100 would be a different carbon fiber option, whether that's the Epic Firefly, the ECD Carbon, or you guys will be jealous. We have one Gate Project G left for residents only of Maine. It's hanging on in the store. But sad to see it go, but it's gone. Let me know if you have any more questions about it down below. Might be picking up another $100 carbon fiber option in the future, just to kind of replace some of that space. But I'm pretty happy with everything we have. I just want to talk a little bit too about why carbon fiber is stronger, because people have a little bit of a misconception with this. Because when carbon fiber fails, it fails explosively, right? It pops. You can hear it across the field, and it really shatters. So people think that it actually breaks more frequently than metal, but this isn't true. The reason we think that is the same reason why we think airplanes aren't safe, even though your chances of dying in an airplane accident are like 1 in 25 million, while your chances of dying just driving to work are 1 in 5,000. So chances of dying in a car. So it's just, it's more explosive, so it sticks out in our minds more. But then also you have to realize that the difference in the, what's the word, metallurgical properties of metal, whatever. The difference in the strength properties of metal only vary ever so slightly between a 7000 series and a Sci-Tie top of the line. The actual different composition of that metal might only increase the ultimate strength, the ultimate tensile strength by, I don't know, 2-3%. So while that could still increase, a shaft of the same weight by, the strength of that shaft by like 15%, in terms of once you start shaving down the weight, then that impacts the strength of the shaft more than anything else. So the String King metal does an amazing job because it outperforms every other theoretical 130 gram shaft. It performs with the strength of a 140 gram shaft. The issue is, an 140 gram metal shaft still isn't that strong. That's a gate ice, so the gate ice probably wasn't designed too perfectly. They had pretty symmetrical rail thicknesses and stuff. So, but I broke 5 gate ices my senior year of high school. So, it's a really cool option. But in terms of what carbon fiber can handle, in terms of repetitive, a slash motion, it can actually sustain, in terms of continuous impact forces that you can see in drop tests, it can sustain almost 400%, so 4 times more energy over a repetitive slashing motion than a metal shaft can. It also In terms of a cross check, a 3-point bend test, it can usually sustain about 40% more strength than a metal shaft can. So in my opinion, carbon fiber is the way of the future, and with companies like Epic and East Coast Dies really pushing that carbon fiber market, I think we're going to see some amazing things. And then we have these sleeper brands like Redline Lacrosse, like True Temper, also coming into the game. The bigger markets, you know, the bigger manufacturers like STX and Warrior and Brine are also trying to pump some of that stuff as well. So it's clearly the way of the future, and we're going to kind of shift back and invest more heavily in that going forward. We will still be carrying the String King Metal Plus until we run out, which is the 150 gram option from String King. That is a lot more durable. It's just, in terms of, I think it blows away all the other side ties at that weight. So whether it's the STX Surgeon side tie, all those that you can, you know, some of them I think are going for like $180. If you're looking at something in that class, you absolutely should buy a String King Metal Plus because it's going to be a way better bang for your buck. Also going to be carrying the Grizzly Metal. Right now we only have them in gold, so I'm going to try to grab a few silver ones because I think that's an incredible goalie option unless you're an angry goalie smashing your shafts on the side of the post. So Grizzly Metal is going to be around. Metal Plus is going to be around for a little bit longer, but other than that, we're going to be shifting away, focusing back in on carbon fiber. If you're a female, just when you thought this video was going to be over, if you're a female, you should absolutely grab a String King Metal Plus. If you're looking for the lightest shaft around, I mean, not the Metal Plus, the String King Metal. If you're looking for the lightest shaft around, grab a String King Metal, and it comes in cool colors. You can get the silver, get the gold, get the black. We've got some awesome pairings in our store here for the ladies in terms of, you know, good colorways and stuff. So definitely keep that in mind. But for the guys, we're moving away. Thanks so much. I'm rambling, and I'll catch you guys next time.